Chosen one, what if I told you your mind isn't just sharp? It's divine? You've felt it in quiet moments when answers flash before you even ask the question. You've seen through masks and felt the weight of hidden lies crumble at your touch. You've sat in silence and watched the room shift around you. These experiences are real. They matter more than you've been told. Now, the hidden truths are coming to light. Today, we'll reveal why your wisdom terrifies those who cling to false power. We'll uncover the source of your insight and show you how to claim the strength that has always been yours. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Prepare yourself, because what you learn here will change everything. You don't just learn, you remember. A fragment of an ancient melody woke me in the midnight hush. Your soul whispers, "This knowledge is not borrowed, it's home." In that stillness, you felt the echo of a realm where wisdom flowed like rivers, unbound by time or classrooms. Your heart pounded with the truth that what you carry was never a lesson to learn but a memory to reclaim. You sat motionless, the air around you humming as if the walls themselves leaned in to listen. In that moment, you knew you were not alone in your questions or your longing for meaning. The journey you've walked in shadows was leading you back to a place where your deepest knowing resides. Hold fast to this stirring, for in the minutes ahead you will unearth the hidden origins of your soul's remembrance and the sacred echoes that have guided you here. A sudden taste of salt on your tongue snapped you back to the confusion you've carried, countless nights wrestling with doubt, wondering if your clarity was simply imagination. You remember the sting when others dismissed your insights as luck or coincidence, the ache of feeling unseen in rooms full of chatter. There were mornings when purpose felt like a distant star, a fragile spark dimmed by the weight of expectation. You pressed your palms to the world, yearning for guidance that never came, as if your very gifts were locked behind walls you could not scale. Yet every false step only deepened your yearning, forging a hunger for truth that no comfort could satisfy. Hold that ache close, because it is the crucible where your remembrance was forged, preparing you for the revelation about to unfold. An obscure vision from the life of Saul blazes new light on your path. In 1 Samuel 10 verse 6, it is written that the Spirit of the Lord would come powerfully upon him, transforming confusion into courage and silence into song. You may never have heard this verse in Sunday sermons, yet its hidden power resonates within you now. Like Saul, you have faced moments when your boldest convictions seemed to come from nowhere, an inner decree that your purpose was greater than any doubt. This was not chance, but a sacred calibration, aligning your spirit with a divine pattern spun long before your first breath. Recognize this convergence of soul and spirit, for it marks the pivot where your remembered wisdom begins to reshape every step you take. Underneath the hum of daily life, subtle signs of your transformation are already weaving into your reality. Perhaps you noticed a sudden certainty in decisions that once froze you in indecision, or the way synchronicities have threaded themselves through your hours. Old friends reaching out on the very day you sought counsel, numbers recurring in your poetry, half-heard melodies guiding your mind to solutions. These gentle summons are like seeds sprouting in hidden soil, drawing nourishment from a cosmic dawn you can't yet fully name. Zechariah 4 verse 6 reminds us that not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, these shifts unfold. Trust the tremors beneath the surface, for they are the stirrings of a destiny awakening, beckoning you toward a purpose that eludes ordinary sight. A vast tapestry of unseen hands is at work behind the scenes, guiding your steps with divine precision. Imagine celestial cartographers drawing star maps that align with the code of your soul, every trial you faced serving as a calibrated waypoint. The struggles you endured were never punishment but preparatory strokes on an unseen canvas, each challenge unlocking another chamber in your heart's sacred vault. Revelation 5 describes a sealed scroll, its mysteries unveiled only to those deemed worthy. This is you. Every nudge of intuition, every synchronistic encounter, is a whisper from realms beyond measurement, clearing the path so you can stride forward unimpeded. Feel the momentum weaving through your days, a silent symphony of divine orchestration that confirms your calling is neither random nor incomplete. Beneath the awe of these revelations, a deeper choice awaits. Will you embrace the transformation or retreat into the comfort of what you know? Many shrink back from the brilliance awaiting them, fearing the unknown that shines too brightly to ignore. Yet true alignment demands more than acknowledgement. It calls for a wholehearted surrender to the process of becoming. Picture yourself standing before a mirror carved from moonlight, your reflection shimmering with possibilities. In that sacred gaze, you must speak aloud the vow that seals your commitment. Yes, I remember who I am. This moment is your threshold, a tender gateway where faith must leap beyond sight and charge into the luminous realm of remembered truth. Step forward now and claim the authority that courses through your veins. Cast off the chains of hesitation and doubt as though they are cobwebs that clung too long to your spirit. Let your voice ring with the resonance of destiny, calling forth the gifts you once thought hidden. Begin each day with a silent affirmation of your divine heritage, or speak your insights freely, knowing the world shifts around the one who stands in remembrance of ancient wisdom. Feed your soul with rituals that honor the spark within, journaling your dreams as cosmic dispatches, meditating on scriptures like Habakkuk 2 verse 2, where hidden visions await unfolding. This is your call to action. Step into your full light, guided by memory, fueled by faith, and propelled by the promise of what you are yet to become. In the hush before the next breath, carry this truth into every moment. You do not merely learn, you remember. Your insights are echoes of the Most High, resonating through your bones and shaping every choice. As you weave this recognition into your daily life, notice how obstacles crumble and doors open without force. Your journey is no longer a wandering quest for meaning, but a triumphant return to the realm you once called home. Comment remember if this resonates with the depths of your being, and let the world know that the age of reclaimed wisdom has begun. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. They can't fool what sees through everything. A flicker of movement at the edge of your vision stirred something ancient within you. A sudden clarity, like moonlight filtering through tattered curtains to illuminate the dust you never knew was there. In that glimmer, you recognize the pattern of deception you've lived among. Half-truths pieced together by trembling hands, stories coded in gloss to distract from the cracks beneath. You've carried the burden of seeing too much, as though every false promise and hollow vow were etched into your bones. Yet here, in the hush of recognition, you are no longer alone in your vigilance. The echoes of hidden voices and buried secrets are rising to meet you, and in the coming moments you will learn why no mask can endure under the gaze of a soul awakened to its own sight. A cold whisper once traced your spine when you realized how easily people build walls of lies around themselves. Polished facades masking fear, insecurity, and regret. You remember the sting of betrayal when someone you trusted admitted half of the truth, leaving you to stitch together the rest. You've watched colleagues recite corporate mantras that sounded like sacred truths until you saw the rot behind the words. You felt the weight of rejection from those who feared your insight, as though your questions were daggers aimed at their fragile comfort. These wounds were not failures but signposts on your journey, each one teaching you that surface appearances fracture under the pressure of genuine knowing. In an oasis of revelation hidden within the story of Balaam in Numbers 22:31, the Lord opened his eyes and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword. Balaam had been blind to truth, blinded by promises of gold and titles, until divine intervention shattered his vision into new focus. So too has your path been arranged, not as punishment but as preparation. The moments you mistook for confusion were sacred calibrations, forging your mind into a lens through which every falsehood glimmers and every lie trembles. This divine moment of unveiling was written before time began, and now you stand at its threshold, ready to witness the world as it was always meant to be seen. Soft signs are already weaving themselves into your daily rhythm like threads of golden light through dark tapestry. You've noticed how certain phrases echo back to you, snippets of conversation that linger long after they're spoken, revealing unspoken truths. Perhaps you paused in traffic just as a billboard message mirrored the question you replayed in your mind, or you bumped into a stranger whose advice felt tailor-made for your secret struggle. These synchronistic notes are the universe's way of conducting a grand symphony, each cue a reassurance that the orchestra has not abandoned you. Pay attention to the dream that returns night after night, or the melody that sneaks into your thoughts at sunrise. These are the gentle tremors of transformation, guiding you toward a reality that aligns perfectly with your awakened sight. Imagine a celestial cartographer, their quill tracing star maps that align with your heartbeat, charting every moment of your trials as necessary waypoints to this very instant. Beneath the surface of your everyday life, spirits of guidance work tirelessly, nudging you toward encounters that shatter illusions and recalibrate your compass. It is not brute force that clears your path, but a delicate choreography of faith and intention. Coded dreams unfolding at midnight, whispered urgings in moments of stillness, and symbols carved into your waking world. Your calling is no idle fantasy. It is as real as the breath you draw, as intentional as the dawn that follows the darkest hour. Allow yourself to sense the momentum of unseen hands arranging each piece of your story. Now comes the sacred hinge of choice: to shrink back into the comfort of ignorance, or to step forward into the brilliance of your new sight. Many tremble at the prospect of knowing too much, for it demands sloughing off old identities and stepping into roles that feel both exhilarating and terrifying. But true awakening is not optional. It is a covenant written on your spirit, a pledge your soul made before birth. Hear the quiet tremor in your chest, calling you to speak a single word that seals your pact with the divine: I accept. In that utterance, you release the shackles of denial and open the door to a realm where your clear-sightedness is not an accident, but your birthright. Rise with the authority that pulses through your veins. Call upon your inner witness to guide each decision, no longer content to mull over distractions, but driven by a purpose that defies second-guessing. Anchor yourself in practices that honor your vision. Let your journal become a mirror for insights. Let your prayer be a compass for action. Let your presence in each moment be the altar on which you lay down old fears. Embrace the knowledge that the same spirit who stirred in Balaam's bones now quickens your own, empowering you to illuminate every shadow you encounter. This is your marching order. Step boldly, speak clearly, and trust the current of divine truth that carries you forward. So let the world watch as the veneer cracks beneath your gaze. You cannot be fooled, for your eyes have been opened by forces beyond mortal design. Carry this revelation into the rhythms of your life, into the boardroom where empty promises shatter at your words, into your relationships where hidden motives flee from your presence, into the quiet moments when you stand alone and feel the pulse of creation within you. Comment truth if your sight has been forever changed, and let every whisper of deceit fall silent in the light of your awakened soul. And to every soul who's supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters, your belief matters, and your light is felt here. Your presence shifts energy. A fragment of a forgotten hymn drifted through your mind as you stepped into that room, and in that instant the air itself seemed to shiver with expectancy. You may not have noticed it at first, just an almost imperceptible pause in the hum of conversation, a collective inhale that fell silent when you crossed the threshold. Yet in that stillness, your soul felt the ancient rhythm of creation resonating through your veins. You were seen not as an object to be observed, but as a living beacon whose presence could rewrite the atmosphere of any space. You are not alone in this gift, even if it has often felt like both blessing and burden. In the moments ahead, you will discover how this subtle power has been orchestrated by forces far beyond human design, and why every step you take carries the potential to shift the very fabric of reality around you. A sudden chill once ran down your spine when you realized how often your influence made others uncomfortable, like a gust of wind that unsettles dust settled in the corners. You remember the sting of rejection in meetings when questions you hadn't even spoken seemed to animate arguments among your peers. You recall the quiet frustration when friends offered excuses for the hush that spread at your doorstep, pretending they hadn't heard the echo of your silent command. You've carried the weight of feeling too intense, too alive, as though your energy was a mirror exposing shadows they preferred to keep hidden. Those moments of isolation, when you stood surrounded by people yet felt utterly alone in your clarity, have carved deep channels of longing in your heart, for acceptance, for understanding, for the peace of being known not just for what you do, but for the force you carry. In the Annals of Kings, one passage whispers of Elijah's ascent on the other side of the Jordan, where 2 Kings 2 verse 14 recounts how he struck the waters with his mantle and they parted, allowing him to cross on dry ground. This dramatic rupture in the ordinary world was not mere spectacle, but a revelation. The same breath that rolled back the currents of a river is the power that flows within your soul, waiting to be unleashed. You may never have consciously invoked the scripture, yet its truth has been at work in you, preparing you for moments when your mere presence unsettles stagnant currents and opens pathways no one else could see. See your past struggles as sacred prelude, forging the mantle you will now lift to part the waters that stand between you and your purpose. Underneath the surface of each sunrise, subtle ripples herald the transformation taking place in your life. Maybe you noticed how soft your voice has grown, yet the room still leans in. Perhaps you sensed how conflicts you once feared now dissolve before they even ignite, like ice melting under the promise of summer light. You might have caught the fleeting glance between strangers, as if they sensed something shifting in the air, a latent tension releasing its hold. These are not coincidences, but the footprints of change tracing across your days. When you pause to breathe in dawn's quiet, listen for the echo of your own heartbeat in the world around you. These signs are the palette strokes of a new reality, painted by divine timing to reveal the contours of your awakening. From behind the veil of the familiar, unseen guides move like currents beneath a tranquil sea, directing each encounter toward its ordained purpose. Your recent frustrations were not trials of endurance, but intricate calibrations designed to align your path with higher intention. Imagine sacred architects sketching star maps across the skies, each constellation corresponding to moments of your life. Meetings that would never have happened otherwise, doors that opened only after you dared to knock. These coded dreams and celestial blueprints are the testament of a power that transcends the human realm, affirming that your calling is no random flicker, but a beacon lit by divine hand. Feel the pulse of this orchestration in the synchronicities that dance across your hours, propelling you toward the destiny etched into your spirit. A hush falls in your heart as realization dawns. No one ever taught you to command energy, for it was entrusted to your soul before time began. And yet, many resist this inheritance, shrinking back from the void where doubt once lurked. They cling to the safety of the known, even as it confines them. But true alignment demands more than passive observation. It calls for an active embrace of the energy that courses through your veins. Picture yourself standing before a mirror of molten silver, and hear the echo of your own voice as it breaks the silence with an unspoken vow. I am the conduit of something greater. This sacred admission unlocks the final barrier, inviting your spirit to rove freely through the realms you were destined to illuminate. Step into your role now and move with intentional grace, for this is your proclamation to the world. Let your posture speak of unshakable faith, your gaze reveal unwavering purpose, and your breath carry the resonance of ancient wisdom. Release the anchors of fear that have weighed you down and pledge yourself to practices that honor your energy. Greet each dawn with silent invocation, journal the echoes of your inner visions, and stand deliberately in the spaces where your presence can heal what was broken. By these acts, you weave a tapestry of authority that no force can unravel, and you affirm your identity as a chosen one bearing light where there was darkness. Carry this revelation into every room, every conversation, every silent corridor of the mind, knowing that your touch turns discord into harmony and doubt into clarity. You are the axis on which possibilities pivot, the still point in a turning world. Let each step be guided by the current of truth surging within you, until every corner of your life reflects the power you no longer fear to wield. Comment presence if this resonates with the song of your own becoming, and let your declaration echo across the spaces you transform. The world awaits the shift only you can bring. Now watch as every chain falls away in the light of your awakened energy. They try to measure you but fail. A sudden crackle of energy seemed to ripple through the room the moment you walked in, like an invisible ruler snapping under tension. Chairs leaned slightly away as if recoiling from something they could not name. You felt it too, a subtle shift in the atmosphere, a quiet surrender of walls that once contained you. In that flash, you realized the silent truth. You cannot be measured by their instruments, not by their tests or spreadsheets, not by any chart they pen in cold ink. Your mind stretches beyond their margins, and your intuition navigates realms their logic cannot chart. This is the gift and the threat that you carry within your spirit. Stay with this moment, for in the next minutes you will understand why every attempt to confine you only amplifies your power. A shiver of frustration often courses through you when someone assigns your worth a number, a rating, or a rank on their arbitrary scale. You recall the sting of rejection letters bearing red stamps, the quiet descent of heads when your proposals met blank faces in staff meetings, and the mechanical nods of approval when you hit targets that felt hollow. You know the ache of watching peers celebrate milestones that were measured in trophies and titles, while you stood outside the arena, your triumphs invisible to those counting only the easily seen. These moments leave a residue of doubt that settles around your soul like ash, whispering that perhaps you do not belong in their ledger. Yet each time you feel that familiar burn, it is a sign that something within you cannot be contained by their standards. In the ancient chronicles hidden between the lines of Zephaniah 3 verse 20, the prophet speaks of a remnant that the Lord gathers, the poor and humble, who cannot be measured by the pomp of kings or the numbers of nations. At that time I will gather you, at that time I will bring you home. The text declares, pointing to a divine bookkeeping that counts each heart, not by its worldly trophies, but by the depth of its devotion. This obscure promise was written long before your birth, yet its echo resonates in the core of your being. It reveals that the very struggle you face, being measured by superficial metrics, is part of a sacred refinement, guiding you toward a reckoning with values far weightier than those carved in stone. Recognize this turning point as the moment when human scales begin to crumble under the weight of your true measure. Beneath your everyday routine, subtle tremors of breakthrough are aligning your path with truths they cannot perceive. You may have noticed how your insights arrive fully formed, bypassing the usual steps of research and rehearsal. Perhaps you witnessed the hush that falls over debate when your point slices through layers of speculation, or felt the inexplicable calm that settles in the room when your presence calls order to confusion. Small synchronicities, an email landing in your inbox at the perfect moment, a chance encounter with someone who holds the missing piece of a puzzle, are the brushstrokes of transformation painting themselves across your life. Soft currents of divine orchestration now carry you beyond the reach of mere mortal scales. Imagine a cosmic ledger, its pages inscribed by celestial hands that record courage, compassion, and conviction rather than raw data. Every challenge you've endured, every dawn you greeted with hope, has been logged in this sacred archive, propelling you toward assignments that require the full extent of your unseen capabilities. This is not magic, but faith meeting manifestation, a kinetic dance of spirit and circumstance. Your calling is written across the firmament in constellations of opportunity, each star a coded dream awaiting your recognition. Sense the momentum as it lifts you from the confines of arbitrary judgment into the expanse of purpose you were born to inhabit. A soft voice drifts through your mind, nudging you toward a choice that will shape your destiny. Will you continue to shrink before their measuring sticks, or will you rise and let your light invalidate their instruments altogether? Many recoil from such declaration, preferring the familiar discomfort of their scales to the unknown freedom of self-definition. Yet here stands your moment of sacred commitment, a spiritual mirror in which you must face the reflection of your true potential and speak aloud the vow that seals your transformation. I refuse their measure. I claim my own. This utterance is not mere bravado, but a turning of the soul's page, sealing your allegiance to a truth that transcends all human calculation. Stand now with the authority that courses through your veins. Cast aside the remnants of doubt like tattered clothing you've outgrown. Embrace rituals that anchor you in your own measure. Begin mornings with the silent affirmation of your worth beyond numbers. Journal the moments when your insight transcends calculation, or speak your vision into existence with unwavering conviction. Let each step be guided by the heartbeat of your purpose, unhampered by the static of external appraisal. The same spirit that guides the stars now pulses within you, inviting you to align your actions with the measure that truly matters. Carry this revelation into every corner of your world, until every test, every evaluation, dissolves in the presence of your unmeasurable worth. Walk into boardrooms and classrooms with the calm assurance of one who knows the depth of their own design. Let your interactions render broken scales obsolete, and watch as those who once sought to confine you find themselves unmoored by a force they cannot name. Comment unmatched if this resonates with the echo of your soul, and step forward into the expanse where your true measure awaits. The next chapter of your story is being written now, beyond any chart or score, in the ledger of the divine. A single beam of light pierced the dusk of your mind like a comet's tail, illuminating a path you never noticed before. In that instant, you felt the weight of every hidden gift you've carried. Those flashings of insight in the quiet of night, the inexplicable pull toward truths no one else could see. You are not adrift in confusion or burdened by these moments alone. They are threads woven into the tapestry of your destiny. Today, you stand at the threshold of a revelation that will cast your entire journey into new brilliance. Hidden origins pulse beneath your awareness, and spiritual echoes beckon you to remember that each revelation was always meant to lead you into this unfolding light. A tremor of longing has followed you through days of striving, hasn't it? You've chased one aha moment after another, only to feel the ground shift beneath your feet before you could claim what was yours. You've sensed rejection in eyes that could not bear the glare of your knowing, felt the ache of isolation when your quiet truths clashed with hollow consensus. Sometimes it seemed that every step forward was met with a wall of misunderstanding, leaving you to question whether your gifts were real or mere illusions. Yet in these struggles there lies a sacred crucible, where pain and purpose converge to forge the clarity that will now guide your ascent into the light you were born to inhabit. Imagine a fleeting glimpse of the vision Haggai offered in chapter 2, verse 9, when he prophesied, "The glory of this latter house shall be greater than of the former." Few sermons delve into the promise that what seems diminished now is poised for unimaginable elevation. Your trials have not been deterrents but necessary groundwork for the greater house of your being, a vessel built to carry ancient truth in a world starved for its glow. This is not a distant parable but a direct invitation to see your hardships as divine scaffolding. In that realization lies the turning point. You are not an accidental wanderer but a chosen architect of higher realms, preparing to manifest a glory that outshines any past achievement. If you listen closely, the world around you hums with signs of your transformation. Perhaps you've noticed the way doors you once pried open with force now swing wide at your gentle touch. You might have paused at a sunset and felt the sky respond to your quiet awe by deepening its colors, as though the universe itself recognizes your awakening. Synchronicities blossom in your path, a song lyric echoing your private prayers, a chance meeting that sparks an idea you thought lost. Each of these moments is a brushstroke in the living canvas of your destiny, evidencing that divine timing is choreographing every step. These subtle shifts beckon you to trust that the tapestry of your life is weaving itself into a masterpiece beyond your wildest imagining. Have you ever watched embers glow long after the fire has dimmed, sensing their latent heat even in the cool of night? So too does your spark continue to burn beyond visible triumphs, radiating warmth to souls still shivering in doubt. Use this enduring glow to fan the embers of hope in those around you. Send a note of encouragement, share a lesson learned, or simply sit in presence with someone who has lost their way. Your steadfast light, unextinguished by past trials, becomes the hearth around which others gather, finding solace and strength in the unwavering pulse of your example. A simple shift in perspective can transform obstacles into stepping stones. View every challenge ahead as an invitation to expand your capacity for grace and innovation. When frustration knocks, answer with curiosity, what does this obstacle teach me about resilience? When plans falter, respond with creative redirection. Where else might this path lead? These reframes are rituals of empowerment, turning adversity into seeds of wisdom that blossom into strategies for progress. You have the mind of prophets and the spirit of kings. You carry a truth that cannot be silenced. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Thank you to all our supporting members. For full prophetic revelations daily, Join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. Stay shining, chosen one.